You know those days where your brain just will not cooperate? It feels like you're wading through this thick fog, and every little thing feels like a huge effort. Well, if that sounds familiar, you're in the right place. We're about to go through a simple, almost shockingly effective way to snap your mind right back into focus.
I mean, does this sound about right? You wake up, maybe you even got a decent night's sleep, but you're still just tired. See, you grab your phone for what you think is a quick scroll, and the next thing you know, an hour's gone. Your motivation is totally zapped, and the whole day just feels overwhelming. Look, you're definitely not alone in this, and it's not about willpower. It's actually all about brain chemistry.
Okay, so think of it this way. Your brain is kind of like a battery, and every single time you check a notification or scroll through a feed, you're draining a little bit of that precious energy. It's not one big thing. It's this slow, constant drip, drip, drip that leaves you totally depleted before you even know what hit you.
So the science behind that drained feeling? Well, it's something called dopamine tolerance. Basically, your brain gets so used to the constant high-level buzz from our phones and screens that it just adapts. It starts needing more and more of that stimulation just to feel normal. And that's why regular, everyday tasks can suddenly feel so incredibly boring or just hard.
But here's the really good news. You can totally reset that baseline. Just imagine for a second, shifting from that foggy, distracted state to one where you feel clear, motivated, and actually present. When you do that, normal stuff becomes enjoyable again. It's like the world gets its color back.
And you know what the best part is? This isn't some complicated week-long detox program. Nope, this is something you can do right now, anywhere you are. We're literally talking about a full mental reset in the time it takes to tie your shoes. Just 10 seconds.
All right, let's get into the practical stuff, your Instant Reset Toolkit. We're going to walk through 4 super simple habits. Each one takes just 10 seconds that you can start using today. But a little heads up, make sure you stick around because I've saved the most powerful technique for last. And trust me, you are not going to want to miss it.
First up, we have the cold shock reset. And I know this one sounds almost too simple to work, but it is so effective at jolting your brain out of a slump.
So here's all you do. Find a sink, crank on the cold water, and just stick your hands under the stream. While you're doing that, just focus on taking deep, steady breaths for 10 seconds. That is literally it.
So, why on earth does this work? Well, that cold water triggers something in our body called the diving reflex. It's this ancient built-in response. It actually slows your heart rate and pushes more blood flow to your brain, sending this powerful signal that says, hey, pay attention. It basically forces your brain to switch off autopilot and snap into a sharp, focused state. It's a true instant reboot.
Okay, technique number 2 is the hard blank reset. Now, this one's going to sound a little silly, I'll admit it, but if you spend a lot of time staring at a screen, this is a total game changer.
It's so simple. You just squeeze your eyes shut, really tight, for a full 10 seconds, and then just open them wide. You feel that, right? It's an immediate shift in alertness.
What's happening is, when we're just staring at screens, our brain gets stuck in this visual dopamine loop. It's basically that zombie scrolling state where our eyes are just scanning for the next new thing without really engaging. This hard blink physically breaks that loop. The metaphor is perfect. It's like wiping smudges off a dirty window, but the window is your mind. It just instantly helps clear away that mental fog.
All right, our third tool is the deep breath reset. And I know what you're thinking. Take a deep breath, we've all heard that. But this is a very specific pattern that's designed for maximum impact.
Here's how it goes. You're going to inhale for 3 seconds, hold it for 3 seconds, and then exhale slowly for 4 seconds. That slightly longer exhale is the secret sauce. Just doing that for 10 seconds can totally reset your emotional state when you're feeling anxious or overwhelmed.
Okay, now for what might be the weirdest one of them all, but man, it's effective. It's called the do nothing reset, and it's all about fighting back against our constant need for stimulation.
For just 10 seconds, your only job is to do absolutely nothing. No moving, no fidgeting, no scrolling. Just be completely still. You know, in the world we live in, a moment of true silence is so rare that giving your brain that tiny break allows your dopamine baseline to come back down to normal really, really fast.
Okay, and now for the big one. This is the final technique, the one I promised you at the beginning. This one goes beyond just a simple reset. It's about putting you back in the driver's seat of your own motivation. This is what we call the dopamine anchor.
So, the next time you feel that fog rolling in, I want you to just stop and ask yourself one simple question. What's the one thing I want to feel right now? Seriously. Do you want to feel motivated? Do you want to feel calm, clear, energized? Just pick one single feeling and name it.
Here's where the magic happens. Just the act of asking that question and naming a feeling, it activates your prefrontal cortex. That's the CEO part of your brain, the part in charge of focus and decisions. In that moment, you stop being yanked around by all those cheap dopamine hits, and you start actively directing where you want your mental energy to go. You're giving your brain a target to lock onto.
So when you put it all together, you can see these aren't just 5 random tricks, right? This is a complete toolkit. This is your new superpower for managing your own focus and energy whenever you need it.
So, let's do a super quick recap of your toolkit. You've got the cold shock to jolt your brain back online, the hard blink to wipe away that screen fatigue, the deep breath to calm you down, the do-nothing reset to break that stimulation cycle, and the big one, the dopamine anchor to take back control.
Look, if there's just one thing you remember from all this, let it be this. The next time you feel that fog, or your motivation just vanishes, control isn't hours away. It's not some complicated thing you have to work for. It's right there, always. You're only ever 10 seconds away from a full reset.
So, I'll leave you with this one question. You have the tools now. You know how this works. The next time you feel that pull, maybe even in the next 5 minutes, what will you reset first?